share my screen. So I will now be waiting for Rico to allow me
Ay,
to...
sorry. Oo nga.
Okay lang po yun kasi tinitingnan ko rin kung ready na rin ako. but but kidding aside, I also would want to acknowledge those who I was able to chat with at least for a few minutes kanina nung hindi pa tayo nagre-resume, ano. So I'm really very happy that all of you are here. But allow me to share with you my PowerPoint for today's session. So just a 40 slide presentation, which of course, if you notice, is just full of picture slides. So probably only a half of that will will be filled with content. So the rest is actually picture slides. I would like to personally welcome everyone to our session, which is entitled The Truth About You, a Personal Journey of Discovery, or probably for some, it's a rediscovery. So because of course we don't really know our particular or specific circumstances or situations, so I just thought that probably for most of you it's going to be discovery, but for some of you it can be a rediscovery, meaning medyo natagpuan nyo na yung sarili nyo, yung katotohanan sa sarili ninyo, but at the same time you want to push your truths further in life. Okay, considering that we have so many roles that we fulfill on a day-to-day basis. So that's our session for this afternoon. As far as the webinar experience is concerned, Rico already mentioned a few things. So of course, I just hope that all of you have your notebooks and pens, because that will be very critical to our session. You need to do a lot of writing, you need to do a lot of introspection, and you need to do a lot of journaling, which I hope will be a habit once a habit that you can start once we end the session. So probably I just would like to affirm or reiterate the one where Rico mentioned that I discourage you to really take pictures, not because I don't want to share my presentation. In fact, once you join Rico's FB community, the RIP Success community, we will be sharing our content there. So it's just really a matter of all of us transitioning from the Zoom meeting and then continue natin yung ating nabuo dito by way of Rico's RIP Success community page. So we will be generous with everything that we will be discussing from here on out. So I just want you to focus on the experience and not on the task of taking pictures, because in my experience being a facilitator, yun yung minsan na parang nasisira yung momentum kasi you always think na, oh, I need to capture this, I need to take a picture. Pero you end up being distracted because number one, you think you already captured the essence of the slide just because you took a picture, and then the speaker becomes secondary to the slide. That is one thing that I want you to avoid, because I'm practically talking from experience and from knowledge and wisdom that I've gained over the years. So the PowerPoint is just supplementary. It's just a visual representation of the things that I'm going to share with you. So I hope it's okay with you guys if I really wanted you to focus more on the conversation rather than the task of taking a picture. So that's just one of the things that I want to reiterate for our webinar experience. So I hope it's a thumbs up for everyone. You just need to use the gesture. So if you want to share something, click the raise hand gesture. You chat something to Rico, send a message to Rico. Rico, I want to share something. And then we will stop the session and then we will allow you to share whatever it is that you have in your mind. So I want this to be an experience, not a lecture. So I hope everybody's fine with that. Now I can move forward to our agreements. My agreements for this session is very simple. It's AEIOU. So for all of you who is familiar, di ba, mga vowels ba yun, Rico? Vowels yun.
Yes, yes.
AEIOU, yun lang ang ating magiging agreements for this afternoon. What do I mean when I say AEIOU? Letter A, allow this experience to be personal, for everyone. So in as much as you want it to be personal, from your perspective, you allow others also to make this session a personal experience for them. So we are really open for whatever it is that you're going to think about or reflect. So that's A. E is exert best effort to minimize distractions, because I know all of us are in our respective homes. Of course, for some of you, you might have kids, so you might have kids running around. Well, actually, for me, it's okay. But hopefully, your kids can also support you in terms of probably makinig na rin sila, young as they are, malay nyo, sila pala yung mga magiging next speakers ng ng younger generation. No? So this is just my hope that whatever distractions, let's apply the principle of the now or the moment, because a wise man once said, the most important place right now is where you are, and the most important person that you for you is the one that you are with now. Okay, so I know nandyan lang sila sa paligid, pero hopefully we can still focus on the session at hand, our experience. I internalize first before we intellectualize. More often than not, in my experience as a trainer, as a facilitator, usually whenever we share some things sa training, masyadong ini-intellectualize. This is not really an avenue for us to show who's more intelligent or who's more experienced, who has more credentials. This session is all about internalizing the truths that we will encounter. The truths that we will encounter. So, i-internalize natin sa damdamin natin, sa puso't isipan natin, yung mga bagay na maririnig natin dito before we intellectualize it. So, hopefully, everybody gets a grasp of what I'm trying to explain here dun sa internalize first before we intellectualize. Oh, observes one's thoughts, feelings, and responses. Because my intention here really is not just to make you feel good about yourself. My intention is also to rock your boat. So as I try to share with you some truths that may probably be a reason for you to raise your eyebrows or really, put some stress in your heart, yung biglang kumabog-kabog for some reason, baka hindi mo matanggap kasi totoo, or hindi mo matanggap kasi mali para sa iyo. But just observe your way of thinking, your feelings, and how you respond in the course of the session. And then lastly, you understand the perspectives of other people. While I would be inclined to share my own experience regarding our topic for this afternoon, as much as possible, I would also want us to have a wider understanding of where other people are coming from. So I'm not going to stop you from sharing your thoughts, feelings, and emotions on the chat box. We might even give you a few minutes to share what's really on your mind and on your heart. But I just hope that for the rest of us who will be listening, who will be reading the comments, let's just accept it with an open mind and an open heart. Let's just try to understand that may pinanggagalingan tayo. May kanya-kanya tayong pinanggagalingan. And there's really actually no right or wrong when you come to think of it. Because what is true for me may not be true for you, in the same manner that what is true for you may not be true for me. But give me some time, probably we can both share the truths together. So if all of you are okay with the agreements, just a thumbs up, please. Or kung talagang nagustuhan nyo, palakpakan. Woo! Okay, hindi sila makareact kasi naka-mute ang mic, kaya may pumalakpak si John Paul. Okay, so I'm not able to see everybody because I'm sharing the screen. So if we're okay with the agreement, so lahat kayo nag-agree, wala namang comment so far, Rico, no, about this. Okay naman. Okay, so allow me to proceed. Let's have an online icebreaker. So we are going to use a chat box for this. So keyboard warriors lang tayo. Bilisan lang natin yung pag-type para medyo exciting. So what will be our online icebreaker? Very simple. Just type on the chat box the following details about yourself, your name or your nickname, your location, yung ginawa natin kanina before we officially started. If you have work, tell us what you're doing. Or if you're not working right now, what is your preoccupation? Are you in on a hobby? Are you doing something that you're passionate about, not necessarily related to work? If you're working for a company, may we know what company you're working for? probably maging familiar sa akin yon. Or if you're a student, you can just mention what school you are going to. And then just say a quick hi, hello, a personalized message for everyone who is already here. Kaya ng mga friends na natin sila. So if you're already keyboard warriors, let's do our online icebreaker. So Rico, take it from there. Tingnan natin kung ano yung laman ng chat box. Tingnan natin if something interesting comes up. Tingnan ko rin sa ano. Nasaan ba yung
Ayan, sila
chat
Cheska,
box?
si Red from Pasig.
Go!
Francis, si Ma'am Mylene from Davao, Professor of
Oo!
Ateneo de Davao.
Wow! Ateneo de Davao!
Yes.
Uy, ma'am, I know somebody who is an alumni there. Maybe you know him.
Si Alvin Galvez, si Kerry from Balanga City. Balanga
Yeah.
City LGU government employee.
Oh, really? LGU?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay, I used to work for a GOCC.
Ayan, si Michael Bustamante from Bataan. Wow, ang dami natin sa Bataan. Si
Go,
Pam
Michael.
Entrep from Bataan. Hello po, Pam. Si Conchi from Cavite, affiliated
Uy!
DSWD Mimaropa. Wow, hello po.
Cool. Oy, I'm from Cavite.
Alvin Galvez, BGC, Singapore Embassy. Hello, Sir Alvin.
Cool. I love it.
Princess from Bataan, a teacher at Bataan GN Christian School. And she's glad to be here. Hello, Princess. Si Jenard, Makati City, a financial consultant.
Oy, Jenard.
Wow. Hello, hello, hello. Gay from Caloocan, an industrial engineer in a private company. Wow, hello po.
Nice. Hey, Francis from Pagcor. I used to work there. Of course, you know me. I know you.
Si Chrisma,
Okay.
network marketer and virtual assistant from Angeles. Hello, Chrisma. Kumusta dyan sa Angeles?
Hello. Uy, Angeles.
Yes, katabi lang namin yun.
Yeah. Well, this is actually a good opportunity for you to network because I
Yes.
sense na lahat professionals ano.
Yeah.
So we can probably expand our networks a bit just by looking at the chat box and then just see if somebody is of interest to you. Probably later on you can just take note of the details. Probably they have their FB account. So yeah, it's a good start. No,
Yeah.
halos lahat nag-type. Okay, ang lalayo pala ng mga locations natin, ano, Rico?
Iba-iba. This is the advantage of technology. Wala nang traffic. Wala na tayong carbon footprint.
Yeah. So the farthest is Davao?
Yes, Davao.
Cool.
Yes,
Nice. So si Professor pala ang pinakamalayo.
Yes.
All right.
At pala
okay.
nag-prepare tayo ng location award. Wow.
Oo. Talagang kumbaga kung sa live training ito, talagang yung Davao pa rin ang no? Ang katangi-tangi kasi nag-eroplano siya.
Pero everyone, it's so nice to have you all here. Masayang-masaya Mr. Dennis na nandito kayo.
Yeah. Pati yung mga personal messages nila, no? Thanks for inviting me.
Yes,
Hi everyone.
Sobrang
Good afternoon. O, di ba? Friends na friends. O, terribly interested in classical music and analysis of it. Currently obsessed with practicing. Grabe.
I've heard Joab play. He's a real good.
Bigatin.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, I'm the type of person who appreciates music. So, you know, okay, malamang okay sa akin yan.
Of course, if you've heard him play, nako, maa-addict ka.
O, sige. Dapat pala sa susunod nating webinar, sumali uli si Joab ba? Tama, no?
Yes, Joab.
Yeah, okay. So, guys, thank you very much. Oh, currently reading a lot of books. Yes, si Floyd Jan from Davao.
Wow.
Oh, can you share, Floyd, what book are you currently into? Because now I'm actually reading a book from a female author about finances. I just want to get a perspective of women when it comes to finances, di ba? Iba kasi pag babae humahawak ng pera. Gusto kong matuto. Ewan ko kung agree yung iba dito na married, no? Pero ako, I'm okay with it. Oh, hi bro, engineer Joe Tak. Uy, we have an engineer in the house.
Yes, hello.
Cool.
Gandang hapon.
So I'm really trying to spend a few minutes na just trying to get a feel of our audience, sino ba sila. So it turns out, no, most of us are professionals.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. That's so cool. But then again, guys, this is just part 1 of our online icebreaker. Are you ready for part 2? Thumbs up
Yes!
lang.
Yes!
Ito ang part 2, ladies and gentlemen. For the next part of our online icebreaker, what I want you to do now is, balik ako sa PowerPoint, to describe your current state by choosing a positive adjective that you or others believe is true about you. So, positive adjective that you or others believe, naniniwala sila na totoo yun. Bigyan ko kayo ng example. Kasi ako, Dennis, di ba? Dense. Kanina, sa intro, sabi ni Rico, delightful Dense. Mr. Delightful of Learning. So, yun yung adjective ko that is positive for me, which I know is true about me. Because other people also acknowledge and affirm that I am delightful. Yun. So, please type on the chat box an adjective that also starts with the first letter of your name or nickname. So sa akin, delightful Dens. Ano yung sa inyo? Ano yung napagkasundoan natin sa iyo, Rico? Ano ba? Ravishing ba? Ano ba?
Ravenous.
Ravenous.
Matakaw.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you may, now type on the chat box your positive adjective that you or other people think is true about you. Ano yun? So, dapat katulad ng first letter of your name or nickname. So, si Patrick, passionate Patrick, boom!
Bountiful.
Bountiful
Wow.
BJ. Cheerful Concy. Cool. Hirap naman, Kay. O sige, tulungan natin si Kyrie. Pwedeng Tagalog. Subukan mo yung Tagalog. Kyrie or Kyrie. Kasi pwede adjective na Tagalog eh. Diba?
Jenard.
O, katangi-tanging Kyrie. O, diba? O. Si Josephine nag-raise ng hand. Bakit kaya? Josephine, what's on your mind? You can chat. Not unless na kick-ass. Kapal mukha. Positive ba yun? Pwede rin maging positive yun, Kyrie, no? Kasi dapat confident ka.
Confidence, yes.
Oh, so pwede yun. Kyrie, pwede.
Caring to.
Caring Kyrie, pwede. Kyrie.
Entertaining.
Agile Alvin. Oh. Confident, pwede. Play on letters. K, confident. P, naunahan sa passionate.
Gusto ko palitan yung akin. Doon ako sa second name ko. Sa letter E. Enthusiastic.
Just JP. Ibig sabihin ni JP, patas siya. Just, parang justice. Fair siya. Okay yan, John Paul. Just. JP. Oh, zealous of good works. Uy, grabe si Neil, ha? Talagang hinabaan. Friendly Francis. Mystic Mylene. Uy, parang X-Men, ah. Mystic Ambitious Albert. Oh, iniba na ni John, ha? Jolly Josephine. Jubilant sometimes, Joab. Ba't naman sometimes? Okay lang. Sana after the session, all the time ka na.
Yes.
Oh, Fantastic Floyd.
Wow.
Parang si Floyd Mayweather. Red for resilient. Boom. Okay, thank you, Eric. Ang gaganda ng mga adjectives nyo.
Love it.
I just want to clear it out that you or others believe is true about you. Adorable, Dayan. Pwede. You can play with adjective. It's okay, Dayan. Sure. Okay? So, okay na kayo dyan. Bibigyan ko kayo ng chance. I'll give you 5 seconds to change your adjective. Kung sa tingin nyo meron pang mas positive adjective na naisip kayo, you have a moment to change it now. So, si Arthur, awesome.
Yes.
Jay is generous. Okay yan. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. O, wala nang palitan, ha? Wala na. Rico, ha? Wala na.
Wala na.
Pag yung nagpalit ng nickname, na siya? Not counted. Okay. Jolly Joe. O, di ba? Ganda. So, bakit ko, perfectionist Pamela. Boom, BJ. Nice. Okay. Clever. Omar, pwede rin. Sure. Why did I ask na sure na ba kayo? Or would you want to change? This is what I want you to do as, warm-up challenge. Total online icebreaker pa naman to eh. The online challenge, okay? Or sabihin na natin the warm-up challenge. Okay, so let me again revert to my PowerPoint. Let us try now to practice the principle of you. Explain ko yung you mamaya. Ito yung practice. What if I told you to be the adjective you've chosen for a day? So pwedeng starting today hanggang 24 hours the next day naman, di ba? So hanggang mga 5 p.m., 5:30. So what if I told you to be the adjective you've chosen for the day? Will you be able to do it? Mapaninindigan mo ba? You can type yes. You can write in your notebook your answer. Isulat nyo po sa notebook nyo yung adjective nyo ha, para hindi nyo makalimutan.
Yes, yes, yes. Ayan.
So,
Yes.
puro yes ba, Rico?
Merong isa confidently with K, si Sir Kerry. Wow, witty, witty.
Yes, as always.
Woo!
Okay. O, di ba? Oh, yan ang gusto natin for this session, di ba? Na we start with on a very positive note.
Yes.
Now, you might be wondering, bakit ba kailangan ko kayong i-challenge to practice YOU or you? Yun nga, no, this is part of our session later on. I will be explaining and I will show myself soon. Lalabas na ako sa video soon. No? Medyo napaka-suspenseful naman. But this is really just a practice where you can affirm something that is true about you. Because we're talking about the truth about you. Let's just start with something that can help you be confident and be comfortable with that one thing that is true about you. Hindi lang yung dahil ikaw lang ang naniniwala sa sarili mo, pero naniniwala rin yung ibang tao na ikaw yun. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? So, yun yung purpose ng ating online icebreaker. I want you to start on a positive note. I want the journey to start on a positive note. And we are able to do that by holding on to a simple truth that you know is evident in your life. Okay ba yun? So can I hear a Y, a yes, or a thumbs up if it's okay with you? Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. Napakaganda. I love your engagement. So now, we proceed. Kasi yan so dahil nag-yes kayo, hanggang bukas yan even if the session will end, dapat bukas ipakita nyo sa bahay, di ba? Sa mga kasamahan nyo sa office, kahit na work from home kayo, na pinapanindigan nyo yung adjective nyo. Okay ba yon?
Ito na lang pala nagpalit ako kasi kung may Zoom meeting ako bukas, ravenous. Kakain maghapon.
Oo, dapat ipakita mo sa video na marami kang chichirya. Marami kang pagkain, Rico. Ravenous eh. Di ba? Yun ang masaklap dyan. Okay? So, if everybody... Well, did you enjoy our simple online icebreaker, guys? Nag-enjoy ba kayo? You can give us a thumbs up or a yes. Okay, before I proceed. Nagustuhan nyo ba? Thank you, Sir Emmanuel. Okay. Ano nga uli si Sir Emmanuel? Parang hindi ko na-capture dun sa chat eh.
Wait.
Excellent ba, no?
Entertaining, Emmy.
Wow, entertaining! Yan ang gusto ko, entertaining. Okay, so now, on to a more serious stuff. Of course, we are not just chatting here. We are not just having a conversation here. We need to have an objective in every learning session that we do. So what is our simple session objective for this session? Simple lang. Our objective for the entire session is we just need to learn a framework. I'll be showing you the framework later. Okay. And then once you are able to get a good grasp of the framework, internalize the principles behind it, and then later on, before we end, you need to make a decision to begin your new life journey, or at least restart your new life journey. Okay, kasi, we're talking about the new normal. Would you believe, medyo for some people, ayaw pa rin nilang tanggapin yung new normal, Para bang if they could just go back to the way things were, parang okay na, yung comfort zone na tinatawag. But then again, probably we can look at this situation both ways. We can look at this situation and decide that we can still be comfortable kung ano man yung ano tayo, kung sino man tayo bago nagkaroon ng pandemic, or we can use this situation as an opportunity to redefine ourselves, to rediscover who we really are, or to discover who we really are, and from there, okay, push forward, move forward to better things in store, okay, for our lives. So if this objective makes sense, just let us know in the chat box. So at least Rico can just monitor how we are engaging with you up until this point. So now I want to show you our blueprint. Kasi importante rin na may objective pero meron ding path. Meron din dapat tayong guide on how we can manage this session. So for this session, we just have okay, 4 parts or 4 phases. The first part or first phase is YOU life. Okay, patterns and processes. We're going to discuss some patterns and processes in life. Number 2 is you truths. We are going to discuss about circles and cycles. Paulit-ulit, paikot-ikot. Kasi yan ang katotohanan. Ano? Ang buhay, sabi nga nila, parang gulong yan. Sa ibabaw, nasa ilalim, patuloy, paikot-ikot, walang tigil, hanggang sa tayo ay mawala na dito sa mundo. Third part is U principles, YOU principles. This is where we need to decide and set a direction. Saan ba tayo pupunta from this point onward or forward? And then the last one is U, beginning. It's a play on words. Pwede nyong sabihin na new beginning. Pwede rin siya, but it's really a beginning of you, YOU. So we will guide you with the next steps and probably invite you to our succeeding session. So we'll discuss that all during the course of the session. So, okay na po ba tayo so far? Okay ba tayo so far? Just again, thumbs up or chat box lang tayo. Y lang tayo. Thank you, Concy. Thank you, Jenard. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, May and Floyd and Francis, Sir Emmanuel. Okay, thank you for your yeses. Now let's proceed to the framework. Okay, so bibigyan ko lang kayo ng snapshot of the framework. Okay, so that you will be guided where we are in in our discussion. So this framework is something that I designed. So I did not get this from Google. I can tell you right now that even if you search Google for you truths and type everything, circles and cycles, all of those stuff, you will not find this framework. And it is only I who can explain this framework for you. And hopefully you will be patient enough to allow me to explain all of these things. So if you notice, parang simple words, no? T-O-Y, toy, C-O-Y, coy, R-O-Y, Roy, and then J-O-Y, joy. Yeah, so it looks simple, but once I try to expound on it, probably it will all make sense for everyone. So that will be our framework for the session, a snapshot of our session. So yan po ang pinrepare ko para sa inyo. This is born out of the years of knowledge and even my own experiences as I journey through in life. Okay, yung mga truths na discover ko rin sa buhay. Hopefully, it will make sense for most of you. So, just the final 2 slides before I finally show myself. Who am I? So, na-introduce na ako ni Rico. I know, na-introduce na ako ni Rico. But of course, if this is the first time that you're encountering me, let me just share with you that I wasn't a trainer just because there was a pandemic. Hindi po ako nag-decide na, sige na nga, maging trainer ako kasi hindi na ako makapasok sa work. Kaya, boom, shakalak, eto na, trainer na po ako. No, I've been doing this for quite a while. I started out as a teacher for a special education school. We used to own a school, in fact. I was a school administrator. I was a teacher. I was even a janitor. I was even a messenger. I was even a driver because my parents really taught me that for you to appreciate work, you really need to start from the bottom. So, yun po yung aking short story about myself. And then, I looked for work. I was able to work for a government agency. And that agency is aligned with gaming and entertainment. So you would have a sense of what that agency is. I was there for 15 years and I never did anything for those 15 years except train people and grow myself through training. That's why I hope that it will inspire you, no, especially those who are employed. Para sa akin, ano, this is just my opinion. One of the best works ever for me is to be a part of training because this is the kind of work where you work hard, you show your best effort, but at the same time, in showing your best effort, you also grow as a person because you really learn a lot of stuff just by being around speakers, just by being around learners, just by being around an audience who is hungry for learning. So I just want to give you an assurance that as I discuss this session for all of you this afternoon, I come from a place of help and I come from a place where I have experienced so much that I hope my experience will make sense, okay, in any or most experiences that you're having right now. So, as far as sabi nga nila kasi credentials, yan lang po ang ma-share ko sa inyo. So, I am Mr. Delightful. Ako po yan. And since na-introduce ko na yung sarili ko, pwede ko nang ipakita ang sarili ko. Okay, so tingnan natin.
Are you able to turn on your video?
Okay, so here I am with my bow tie and everything. So nakaka-relate na ba kayo? Thumbs up nga dyan, mag-chat box nga kayo. O, anong impression nyo sa akin? May pumalakpak si Jenard. Na iba lang yung aking inner shirt, no? I opted for peach instead of yellow. So I hope you're appreciating the wardrobe. And baka nagtataka kayo, no, why am I dressed like this? Rico is dressed like that. And you know, I put my everything into this session. I really wanted this to be something of value for all of you. And I really do believe, thank you. Good looking, sir. Thank you. And I really do believe that this is just a simple way for me and Rico to honor your best investment with us this afternoon. And what is that best investment? Yung time po ninyo. Just the mere fact that you could have chosen some other thing to do this afternoon, but you chose to be with us, with me and Rico. This is just our simple way of saying, we are prepared for you. So sana na-appreciate niyo yun. Oh, winner, sabi ni Ma'am Gay. Gusto niyo ba malaman, Ma'am Gay, kung gaano to ka-winner? Alam niyo kasi minsan, sa mga webinars, usually nakikita niyo okay yung pang-ibabaw. Eto, walang halong biro. I am dressed to the nines. And you cannot question me, you cannot challenge me because now I can even stand up and let you know that I'm really well dressed for everyone. See? I even have my shoe. You see the shoe? See the socks?
Same here. Wala lang sa akin yung sapatos kasi naiwan ko sa Manila yung black shoes ko.
Okay lang. Basta yung chinelas mo black. Ayan. Sabi ni Mr. Takorda, delightful.
Wag lang yung kuko yung
Right. Yeah. So I hope that you appreciate our simple gesture, that you are important to us. Your time is important to us. And the way we dress is just one of the things that we can tell you that we place a high amount or degree of excellence for this session because we want you, okay, to appreciate our session for this afternoon. Okay, so nawala na yung shock ninyo, no? Gulat kayo, what? Okay lang yan, normal na sa akin to.
Yeah.
I'm all dressed up and nowhere to go. Sabi ni Jenna, enticing. Okay, so before we talk about something else, let me just go back to our PowerPoint. So if we're all ready, let's begin. Let's start with part 1. Okay. Part 1. So hopefully, this is being recorded naman by Rico. So wag kayong mag-alala. If you're looking for material, we will be able to provide you with snippets of our session. Tama ba, Rico?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's begin part 1. Okay. So what is part 1? YOU life, okay, or you life, patterns and processes. This is just a couple of slides that I want to share with you. So when we talk about patterns and processes, here is just a summary or probably the most common patterns or processes that we encounter in life. So every second, every hour, every day, every month, every year, it repeats itself. We are either involved or going through a particular pattern or process. What are those patterns or processes? It can be formation. So let me just give you a quick example. Formation is when our parents formed us in mommy's womb. And then from just a very small life organism, di ba, 9 months, biglang lumaki yung tummy ni mommy. And then paglabas, ayan na. Yan. So tingnan nyo yung mga sarili nyo. Yan yung lumabas. Sa ano no, sa galing sa tummy ni mommy or yun nga no doon sa ano no sa kaloob-looban niya. So formation, but it's not just about physical formation. It can be another aspect of formation kasi meron namang mga spiritual formation, merong emotional formation. You are really trying to make sense out of what you're feeling. So you are trying to form meaning out of your emotion. Bakit ba ako nalulungkot? Ba't ba ako nagagalit? Ba't ba ako masayang-masaya? Bakit ba tuwing nakikita ko siya, napapangiti ako? Oh! So, really, everything in life can be predicated to a process or a pattern of formation. Pag sinabi nating formation as a pattern, ito yung nung nasa loob ka ng mami mo, 'di ba? Ano yung pattern niya para alagaan ka niya? Kumain ba siya ng gulay? Nung naglihi siya, puro ba siya manggang hilaw? 'Di ba? 'Yun yung pattern 'yun. Natulog ba siya ng maaga just really to protect you, to make sure that you're healthy? Meron kasi na, no, the truth of the matter is meron naman ang pattern of our formation. Nagyoyosi si mami, nagpupuyat si mami kasi nagwo-work siya, nag-iinom ng konti si mami. And it's not only the moms, no? It can also be the dads. Kasi 'di ba si daddy ba binubulong-bulungan din ba tayo, 'di ba? When we were still in the tummy. That is included in the formation pattern and process. And again, one of the truths there is, actually, wala si daddy eh. Nung fino-form ako, wala si daddy. Di ba? Nung fino-form ako, si mami lang. Sinalo niya lahat. All the pains, all the, the hurt, all the rage and the anger, na-form. Na-form kay mami, na-form sa atin. And the truth of the matter is, na ipapasa siya. So again, medyo simula pa lang, parang in-expect nyo ba na parang, whoa! Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the truth about us, the truth about you. And dito pa lang sa stage na to ng formation. And you can just comment whatever it is that's going through your mind. You can comment on the chat box or you can write on your notebook. I-process mo na kagad, wow, how was I formed? Grabe, wow, I can remember nung fino-form ako. Kwento sa akin ni mami, talaga nandun lahat. Family members, very happy. So, sulat nyo lang, process it. Okay? So, that's formation. And then, another pattern or process can be affirmation. And what is affirmation? It's really reinforcement. So, as a process, may proseso ang affirmation eh. Repeated. Pattern din siya. Repeated. So, another example, nung lumalaki tayo, sinasabihan tayo, pogi mo talaga, Rico. Diba? Apaka-pogi ng baby ko. In fact, hindi ka pa nga nakakarinig or vibration pa lang ng boses ang naririnig mo sa parents mo. Alam mo that it's something good. Kasi kapag yung sa lalaki kasi kapag malumana yung boses, di ba pag pinapatulog si baby, baby, oh, ang ganda ng vibration. So, part ng affirmation yun na alagang-alaga tayo. Would you agree? Pero, meron ding part ng affirmation where vibration pa lang, tunog pa lang, hindi na maganda. Ano yun? Habang kinakarga ka, ang nangyayari, umalis ka nga dito, lumayas ka, demonyo ka, huwag ka nang pabalik dito. Lasenggero! Nakaka-relate ba kayo, ladies and gentlemen? Thumbs up lang kayo, ha? If this is really something revealing for everyone. So, affirmation as a pattern kasi if you always listen to that every day, iko-connect ko na sa pangatlo. That's what you accumulate. That's the process of accumulation. Habang tumatanda tayo, naririnig natin yung affirmation, na-form yung belief, I must be really intelligent. I must be really athletic. I must really be gifted. Or on the offhand, I really must be stupid. I really must be, not good enough. Yun yung nag-accumulate in our lives. Truth or not? Sige nga, tanungin ko kaya at this point, thumbs up kayo or mag-type kayo ng Y or talagang nasashock na kayo, hindi na kayo makareact. No? Yun yung nag-accumulate sa buhay. Yung emotion na connected dyan, yun na mag-accumulate sa atin. Parati tayong pinagagalitan, na-affirm yung ating mga kapalpakan sa buhay. Even at work. Parang nami-mirror, no? Minsan, you get the feeling na, etong boss ko parang tatay ko, parang nanay ko. Nung nagalit sa akin, parang bumabalik sa akin yung mga panahon na nasisermonan ako, and I don't like that. Nag-accumulate. Kaya ngayon, kahit naman wala namang kinalaman si boss, pero for some reason, galit ka na sa kanya nung napagsabihan ka. I'm gonna transfer work. Lilipat na ako ng work. Ayoko na. Grabe. Sipag-sipag ko dito. Ito lang ang naipon ko. Puro accumulated na sermon galing sa boss ko. So you see the connection, ladies and gentlemen. We are all about patterns and processes. Good or bad. Now, let's go to the next one. Contribution. Okay? So whatever you accumulate, you contribute. I'll give you 2 examples again. If you accumulate something that's positive, that's what you contribute. So pag nasa bahay ka, di ba, you are cheerful, you are delightful, di ba, you are the musician, you are the performer, you are the dancer, that's what you contribute. So wag na kayo magtaka kung nung bata kayo, sinasabihan kayo, dance ka naman, Jefford, Jessica, why don't you sing a song? Di ba, birthday ni Mommy, please sing for the guests. Di ba? So whether gusto mo yon o ayaw mo, contribution yon. Di ba? But then again, kung ang na-accumulate natin is negative, yan ang contribution mo. So kung puro away dito, away doon, ang natanggap ng isang tao, ang mangyayari yun din na magiging contribution niya. Whether sa community, sa school, sa society, basag ulo, looking for trouble, probably kupit dito, kupit doon, all of those negative stuff. Kasi yun nga, no? Input, output. Even then, that's a pattern. There's a pattern and there's a process to it. And then expiration. What do I mean by expiration? Literally, expiration, we die. What is our pattern of death? Pwedeng sakit. Galing sa sakit, lumala. Nagkaroon ng sakit A, nag-progress sa sakit B, then naging D, and then expired. Pattern. Okay? Pwede siyang pattern across generations. Paano namatay yung nanay? Cancer. Paano namatay yung kapatid niya? Cancer din. A pattern of expiration. Heart attack, diabetes, or whatever, sa liver, dialysis, those are patterns. Makikita natin yan, patterns in families. Hindi lang naman yung expiration tinutukoy po. When I say expiration, pwede rin it's the end of a particular season, an end of a particular process, an end of a particular phase in your life. So in as much as you have been formed for a particular season, you have affirmed so much for that particular season, accumulated, contributed, darating din ang araw, matatapos din yan. And you need to progress to the next phase. Kaya nga, di ba, sinasabi ng mga matatanda, hoy, hindi ka na grade school, high school ka na. Iba na dapat ang focus mo, iba na dapat ang pinagkakaabalan mo, iba na dapat ang dine-develop mo. And then, ganun din sa college. And then, ganun din sa work. But if you notice, there's always a beginning and there's always an end. Because that is the truth in our life. Everything, there's a beginning, and everything, there's an end. But in between, we are either participants or victims of all of these patterns and processes. And just to make a quick mention, kung nakikita nyo sa gilid, weaving in, weaving out, they intersect, di ba? Overlap, di ba? And then, pwedeng linear. Because in life, pwedeng yun ang pattern mo, yun ang process mo. Pwedeng it at the same time that you are being formed, affirmation is also present. At the same time that you're accumulating, you are contributing. Pwede yun. So, what I want for you to really be aware of, and I want you to write it down on your journal, anong pattern or process kayo so far, currently, diba? Depending on the role pa yan. I don't want this to be a full workshop. No? This is just really more of an introduction or an overview. But I want you to be aware now, okay? At this point in your life, what patterns and processes are you going through? And anong pattern ba? Are you weaving in and out of one or more of these processes or patterns? Nag-i-intersect ba sila? Linear ba sila? Kasi minsan sa tao gusto nila, hindi, formation muna, and then affirmation, then accumulate, then contribute, then end. Walang tama dyan, walang mali. But what I want you to do is observe and identify what life pattern or process that is going through in your life right now or is being dominant or that is being dominant in your life. At this point, I want to offer, okay, this premise that these patterns and processes of life create you. Eto na ang dahilan kung bakit ang title ay The Truth About You. Because we can start with these patterns and processes which now lead to the creation of your own uniqueness. Yan. Kasi yan ang nagbibigay sa atin ng uniqueness. Yung pattern sa buhay, yung prosesong pinagdaanan natin sa buhay, yung mga kinukwento ko sa inyo kanina, all of us have a unique experience. Tama ba, mali? Pag-isipan nyo. And that translates to our own uniqueness. Kaya ako, kahit may kapangalan akong Dennis, unique ako. Kasi yung pinagdaanan kong pattern and processes simula nung pinanganak ako, yun yung nagbigay sa akin ng element or quality of being unique. Kayo, what were these patterns and processes that allowed you, your own uniqueness, to be created? O yun. Walang iba. Pwedeng makita mo, parang pareho kami, but really, hindi kayo magkapareho. Because what is, again, even it's a biological truth or physiological truth. Even twins, they are unique. Kakaiba tayo. Fingerprints, unique. Demeanors, unique. Pwedeng pareho lang tayo masiyahin, pero iba level ko, iba level mo. So, unique. Yeah. Your own uniqueness. So now that you are trying to absorb these things that I'm sharing with you, I think a question can be helpful for you to process it even more. And what is that question? Okay. Truth and dare, hindi to truth or dare. Truth and dare. Okay. I want you now to contemplate, to internalize, dare yourself to find out the truth. What is your life pattern or process these days? Okay ba? Positive ba? Masaklap ba yung pattern mo? Puro utang kasi pattern yun eh. Accumulation, utang. Example lang yun. Pwedeng yun ang pattern. Pwedeng proseso siya kasi pag naubos na yung inutang mo, mag-accumulate ka na naman ng utang. Mangungutang ka na naman. Especially if you're a business owner. That's one of the most difficult things to do right now. I don't know who's a businessman in the crowd now, in the class. Pero ang hirap. Grabing pattern, di ba?
We have some people here who are business.
A pattern of, sabihin natin, boredom. Ayan. Yung iba dito, sige, taas kamay yung mga bored dyan. Kaya nag-attend ng webinar na to kasi na-bored. O ngayon, nagsisisi kayo. Akala ko, relax lang tong webinar. Yung pala, Diyos ko, meron pang journaling. Nag-iisip pa pala ako ngayon. But really, boredom is a pattern that you have allowed yourself. Oh, papayag ka ba na yan ang uniqueness mo, your own unique boredom, your own unique boring life? Is your own uniqueness predicated on doing nothing and just being plain bored? Ulitin ko ha, kung meron man dito nakaka-relate, I'm not actually declaring anything. I'm not really actually judging anyone. It's more of a question that I'm posing. Gusto mo ba that your own uniqueness is based on a pattern of boredom and idleness? Kasi mag-anak ang boredom and idleness. Pag bored ka, nagiging idle ang utak. Pag naging idle ang utak, I'd like to share with you something that I believe is true for the longest time. An idle mind is the devil's workshop. So once you get bored, your mind now is being conditioned to a pattern of boredom. It may probably lead to another pattern of idleness hanggang sa wala, proseso na yan. Proseso na yan. So maging careful tayo. That's why this is a truth and dare. I want you to accept any life pattern or process that is helping you right now or hurting you. Because sabi ko nga, di ba, at sinasabi rin ng iba, acceptance and awareness is key. Diba? Kasi aware ka, pag aware ka, kaya mo bang tanggapin? Diba? Kasi hindi mo naman pwedeng kayang tanggapin yung isang bagay na hindi ka naman aware. Diba? So it should be both an awareness, my gosh, kaya pala ito nangyayari sa buhay ko ngayon. May pattern eh. Love life. Oh, kaka-relate kayo sa love life, di ba? Bakit ba parating sawi? Hindi ba pwedeng this time around? Bingo na? Bago pa ako maubusin ng numero sa bingo card. Bago ako ikasal. Ano ba yung last number sa bingo, Rico? 65. Hindi. 65 ba? Is it higher? Wala. 65 siguro sa bingo. So, does it make sense, ladies and gentlemen? I just want you to give a quick thumbs up or a comment so that I know that we are
Type Y in the
doing
chat.
good. Yeah, that this is making sense for all of you, especially that we are ending part 1. So please write in your journal right now. Have you identified a particular pattern? So if you're a parent, what is your parenting pattern lately? Sobra bang busy kasi work from home ka? So kahit nandyan yung mga bata, hindi mo na maasikaso? Because that's a pattern. It's a process. Diba? A pattern where you are busy, pwedeng maging process of neglect yan. And then pagpunta natin sa part 2, ladies and gentlemen, it becomes a cycle. Circle. Kaya this part will connect to the next part. And I don't want to go to the next part if you will not do due diligence for this part. So let me know if you've already written down or identified in your notebook or journal a pattern, a life pattern or process that is helping you or hurting you. Ngayon, pwede mong tanungin, so kung helpful na yung pattern ko and process, okay na ba ako? Am I okay? Probably yes, pero probably no. Kasi ang tanong ko naman sa'yo, do you think that there is a higher pattern, a better process that you can adopt or adapt to so that you can have a better definition or discovery of you, your own uniqueness? Does it make sense, ladies and gentlemen? So, bigyan ko kayo ng konting segundo para pagmuni-munian yan. I hope that you are still engaged with us, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm okay kung talagang nag-iisip kayo at pinag-iisipan nyo yan. I'm okay with it. That is the purpose of our webinar this afternoon. So, are we ready to proceed? Medyo, let me know yung mga initial reactions nyo. So, I'm seeing pinakahuling engagement sa chat box. Karen is with me now, also listening. So, welcome, another addition to our session. Yeah. And Dayan, a businesswoman. Ayan, Dayan, as a businesswoman, ano naging pattern mo lately as a businesswoman? Diba? What's the nature of your business, by the way?
Hi, sir.
Oh, Dayan! Hello! So, mukhang sa picture mo, photography ba?
Freelancer po ako lately.
Oh, just like me. I've been a freelancer for 4 years. So, very quickly, what have you identified as far as a pattern or a process that's evident now as you fulfill your role as a businesswoman?
Wala po akong choice eh. So, I am working with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
So, as of now, nag-expand po ako. And I made the business to an online para sa community of this pandemic. So, hindi ko siya ma-identify kung ano. Basta I know that I'm exploring and there's something new and nag-improve yung business.
Yeah. Okay. So, Dayan, just to help you out, I just hope that while you're exploring, you are also creating patterns that you can always go back to, especially once that you've figured out what works best for you. Because the best thing right now that's happening, hindi lang sa'yo, kundi sa iba rin siguro freelancers, is you can develop patterns of how to do business. So, online is a pattern. Pwede kasing through social media, di ba? Pwede kang mag-connect sa LinkedIn kasi nandun lahat ng mga professionals. And then probably look at other patterns where it can complement any plan that you may have right now. But one of the key here really is patterns and processes are flexible. Ibig sabihin, even if you're able to identify a pattern or a process, you have an opportunity to flex it further, to stretch it probably, or to adjust or improve. Okay? But mamaya, Dayan, babalikan kita because I heard you mention, wala akong choice eh. So, pupunta tayo dyan. Kasi probably yung iba, yun din ang tanong. Ito bang pandemic eh, talaga bang naging makatotohanan yung no choice eh? We'll see. But thank you, Dayan, for sharing. Thank you. Okay? Hello, Kuya Paz. Okay, our brother. Also, do you like my bow tie? Dennis, bukas, ganito ka rin, ha?
Sir Dennis, let me butt in. So, I believe some people are having a little bit confusion on how to engage with us through chat kasi naka full screen view, no?
Okay, yeah.
So
okay.
Let me just give you a quick tutorial, no?
Please.
For those viewing the session in full screen view, ang mapapansin natin nawawala yung controls, no? Kasi naka-view tayo sa PowerPoint. So we may move the cursor, pwedeng trackpad or mouse kung anong meron kayo. Then below the screen you will see chat, no?
Right.
Then you may click that control, then yung chat box mag-o-open po.
Yeah.
So you will have the option to engage with us through chat or pwedeng yung reaction nyo, thumbs up or clap. No?
Right.
So quick tutorial lang. Thank you, Sir Dennis.
Yeah, thank you, Rico. If you're using a smartphone, itatap nyo lang yung screen, lalabas yun.
Yeah, yun pala.
Lalabas yun. Kasi I also participate in Zoom sessions using smartphone. But since I'm presenting now, I need to use a laptop. So yeah, please, okay? So thank you. Yeah, you love the tie. Yeah, this is trademark, no? Trademark Mr. Delightful. So thanks, Kuya Paz. So okay na tayo sa truth and dare. Now we need to go to part number 2. Your truths. Your own unique truths, or the truths that define your own uniqueness. And we are talking about circles and cycles. So kung kanina, I mentioned 2 P's, patterns and processes, or for some processes, for part 2, we are going to talk about circles and cycles. This is where I will now describe, explain, expound, articulate the framework that I showed you earlier. Are you all ready? Ready?
Type Y in the chat box or thumbs up.
Yan.
Yeah.
Jenard, active kasi kami ni Rico. Mamaya may announcements kami. Medyo magugulat kayo. May mga surprises kami. So, dapat pag sinabing participate. Ayan, ang dami. Why. Okay,
You know,
I like it. Part 2. Okay, let's go to the framework. So, kung napansin nyo, may nagtaas ng kamay. John Albert, you want to say something ba? Or
yeah, baka meron kang insight.
yeah? Sige, balik ko muna. Wala naman. So just let us know on the chat box, John Albert, if you wanted to share something or at least chat para we can get back to you later on. So if I may be allowed to proceed, part 2, circles and cycles. So pansin nyo kanina, no, tatlo siya. Binreak down ko lang, I just broke it down into each part. So first, let us discuss the TOY. Ano ba yung the truth about our TOYs? Okay? So if you're looking on the screen, you will notice that there are 3 T's. And under the 3 T's, okay, merong phrase na own you. Again, nandiyan na naman yung YOU. Alam na natin yung definition, right? It's your own uniqueness. So, what am I going to talk about here? So, in life, one of the truth, kasi dichotomy siya. When I say a dichotomy, there are 2 forces, okay, or there are 2 events, there are 2, sabihin nating happenings or occurrences that are not related to each other. And there are times sa dichotomy, they clash with each other. Okay, but then again, parang perspective, dalawa, parang coin, 2 sides, so dichotomy. I want to talk about the first part of the dichotomy. And this is the part where thoughts own you. What do I mean very quickly when I say thoughts own you? According to a study, we have at least so many million things that we can think about. And they just zoom in and out. And that's the beauty of creation, the power of the brain. Grabe yung processing ng brain natin, talagang supercomputer, no? As I fix my tie, ang daming thoughts. But then again, okay, sometimes we have that tendency to just pick out any thought that crosses our mind. And then, without giving it any further thought or any evaluation or any further discernment, we just try to accept that thought as the truth. So that is where the thought owns you, or your thoughts own your own uniqueness. Okay? Kasi parang, okay, the first thing that comes to my mind, okay, that's what I'm going to do. The first thing that goes into my head, that's probably the first thing, that's probably the best thing that I need to do at this point. So, thoughts own you. Pero, ito ang tanong ko sa inyo. Let me ask you, what occupies your mind? What thoughts occupy your mind? It's number 1. Number 2, are the thoughts that occupy your mind have a good chance of owning your uniqueness? Baka nabibigatan kayo sa tanong. Explain ko pa further. Okay? Let's just say, out of the many thoughts that I have, okay, biglang may pumasok sa isip ko. Diba? Hirap ng buhay ngayon. Pandemic. Siguro naman, okay lang na magnakaw. O kaya, manlamang ng kapwa. No? Just in my mind. Sumagi lang sa isip ko. Diba? And then, na-reinforce yun. It's being reinforced. Why? Because when you look at social media, when you hear a story, saying na, what? He got away with this? Grabe. Yumaman siya, pero hindi nila alam, nang goyo siya. Okay? Nang ano siya, estafa, all of those stuff. So, you entertain that thought now. Maybe it's really a good idea, just to, be that guy. Pwede sigurong yun na lang ang gawin ko. Mandaya na lang ako ng kapwa, manloko na lang ako ng kapwa. So now, na-reinforce pa yun. Remember, our patterns and processes sa part 1, nag-accumulate. And then, meron ka talagang actual na taong nakilala, nakausap, nakachat. Brother, it's really easy. Here's what you need to do. Step 1, step 2, step 3. After a week, you'll get 500,000 pesos without them even knowing. By the time that they discover that, all of the products that you sold are fake, counterfeit, or it really doesn't work, okay, parang placebo effect lang yan, you're already, in another place. Nakapunta ka na sa ibang probinsya. Pwede ka na magtago. And just because there is no other reinforcement of thought that will challenge that, lalo na napagmay-arian ka na nung thought na yon. Yes, brother, I'm going to do that. Yes, sabi ko na nga ba, it's a good idea. And so now you carry it out. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the time where your thoughts own you. Nagpadala ka na, na-impluwensyahan ka, you fail to discern, you fail to evaluate, you fail to question. You fail to question because asking yourself questions is powerful. Tama ba to? Align ba to sa values ko? Is this really who I am? Am I unique that way? Dennis, the magnanakaw, Calamba. Is it really me? So those are the questions that we can ask. Does it make sense, ladies and gentlemen? Thoughts own you. Titles own people. Titles own people. Well, hindi naman sa pagano, I'm the owner, I'm the founder, I'm the CEO, and I'm the CFO of company DMC. Yeah. So, and I carry the title well. Nothing wrong with that. But did you ever notice that for some people who carry titles with them, it practically owns them already? Pag-isipan nyo. Let's just say, nakapila ka sa airport, pagkahaba-haba. Let's just say, medyo pwede na mag-travel, no? So, nagbabali ka na. Ang haba ng pila, social distancing. No? And then, maaga ka dumating because you anticipated that there's a long line. And then, nasa linya ka na, biglang nakita mo, may sumingit. May sumingit. And somebody called that person out. Hey, sumisingit. May pila dito. There's a line here. And then what does that person say? Ambassador, kaya not to offend people with the titles, I'm just trying to illustrate something. Okay. Manager, I know that guy, he's a friend of mine. Oh, yun ha, para fair. Hindi na manager, I'm just a friend of somebody who is. Friend niya ako. I'm gonna pass through. I'm gonna go beyond all of you. Go ahead of you. Yan title ko. Best friend of the owner. So, can you relate? Titles own your own uniqueness. Kaya ka nagiging unique kasi kapit na kapit ka sa title mo. Ayan ha, I'm rocking the boat, I'm rocking the boat, I'm rocking the boat. Please don't fall over the boat. I'm just rocking it just to make sense. Okay, medyo may nakaka-relate, no? Nag-yes si gay. Nakaka-relate ka, gay. And yet, so many people experience this truth. I'm nothing without my title. I'm nothing if I'm not the manager of this multinational. Don't you know that because of this pandemic, there are now high-profile people who occupy top-level positions in multinational companies? They are now jobless. Somebody shared to me that in his own circle, 6 na. 6 people, leaders of big companies are out of the job. Now we can just imagine, if titles own them, can they make it? Can they survive the anxiety, the depression, the sadness? Wala na yung title eh. If you can relate, thumbs up, write in your journal, type on the comment. Totoo daw, keep on going. Ito ba, baka may ma-hurt na bro, ayoko na. Just mag-gets nyo lang sana yung illustration. Titles own us. The Roderick Paulate syndrome. Now, I'm talking about the generation where they know Roderick Paulate. If you belong to the generation where you don't know him, sakyan nyo lang kami. Roderick Paulate syndrome. Don't you know me? Don't you know me? My title owns me. And then here's what happens. Pag pinatulan siya, that person who really doesn't care about who you are, sabihan ka, pakialam ko sa'yo kung manager ka. What do I care? What do I care? So lalo ka ngayon nagalit. And you think you are justified because you're offended. But the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, the truth is the title owns you. The title owns that person. Kaya masakit. Kasi kinwestiyon yung titulo mo. So, that's one thing na, yan nga, parang injection. Masakit, pero I mean, just to knock some sense into our system. Maging mabuti, magising tayo sa katotohanan. So, make sense? And then treasures. Again, another truth about life. Diba? Our worth is dictated by our bank accounts. How people see us, how people treat us is based on our bank account. But really, let's start from ourselves. Our bank account is who we are. Dalawang aspects yan, ladies and gentlemen. If you have enough, if you have even in excess of treasure, and it owns you, what is the tendency? Okay, when somebody who has more than enough treasures, and I mean finances to ha, pera. Okay? Sobrang dami mong pera, it owns you. What will be your pattern? So I always want to connect with the past lesson. What will be your pattern? Accumulate more, and leave nothing to others? Or leave some things to others? What will be your process? I'll buy this, I'll buy that. Hindi ka naman taga-Bicol, pero parang taga-Albay ka. I'll buy this, I'll buy that, I'll buy that company, I'll buy that conglomerate. Accumulate. Because you want to connect your own uniqueness with how much money you have. People want to connect their sense of worth with what's in their bank accounts. But then again, ang nangyayari rin, kabaliktaran din. Pwedeng wala kang pera, low self-worth ka naman. Treasures own you din. Does it make sense? And that's the truth for most people. Wala man akong pera eh. Kaya hindi ako pupunta dyan sa party na yan. Hihiyain lang ako dyan. Magiging tampulan lang ako ng tukso dyan. Buruin nyo, 43 years old na ako. Wala pa ako 1 million sa bank account. Hindi ako pupunta sa reunion na yan. And talking about reunion, ito maganda, no? If you're attending reunions, people will really measure you in terms of your bank account and even your titles. Kaya nga, if title and treasures own you, masakit yon pag sa reunion. Ay, ganun? Ay, ano ka lang? Diba? And then, makita mo, there's this one guy, always one guy, regardless kung ano na-accomplish niya sa buhay, people always look down on him. Probably because yung mga kaklase niya, grabe, titles own them, treasures own them. Kaya kung hiyain na lang tayo, di ba, para bang they own us. And really, that's another truth. Other people's money own us. Hindi tayo makakilos kasi dependent tayo sa pera nila. Hindi natin makontra. Kasi sila yung may pera. Hindi natin masabi kung ano yung tamang gawin. Kahit na alam nating mali, oo ka na lang. Kasi pag sinabi mong mali yan, boss, tanggalin kita sa trabaho. Nakaka-relate. Yung iba, nagko-comment na, nag-engage na.
Totoo. Agree. Totoo po yan.
Are we now really into the truth about your own uniqueness? Our own uniqueness. It's true. Masakit, pero totoo. We are victims. At least at one point in our life. Okay? Just to be fair. Okay? Kasi baka mamaya yung iba medyo na-overcome na nila eh. And I'm going to share yung kabila nito after a while. Pero dun muna tayo sa talagang masakit. At masakit talaga pag ang buhay natin, our uniqueness is predicated on what owns us. Thoughts, titles, and treasures. Ladies and gentlemen, that's just part 1. We still have 2 more circles to go through. Are you ready for the next circle? Inom-inom muna ng tubig.
Para baka mapasubo, masamid, inom mo ng tubig.
And probably at this point, you might be thinking of a few people. Sabi ko na nga ba yun siya eh. Siya yun eh. No? Talagang parang may maa-associate ka na tao na, oh my God, Mr. Delightful, do you know this guy? Because I know this guy. You're actually talking about him. Oh, in my experience, that really happens. But this is also what I tell my audience. The easiest way really is for us to point at other people and not point at ourselves. Kasi mahirap talagang tanggapin. Minsan tayo yun eh. Tayo yung maangas. Tayo yung nag-iisip ng mga hindi magandang bagay. Tayo yung talagang alipin ng pagkakaroon ng maraming pera o pagkawala ng pera.
Or even titles, no matter what age. No?
Yeah. And really, I mean, just talking about the younger generation, just be mindful that life is really not about chasing titles in the corporate office. You know, in my experience, just to share with you, I know a lot of security guards from our agency. Francis Estavillo, listen to this because you are part of that agency. Security guards and title, but they have good lives, decent lives. Security guards, I know they even have cars. And talk about drivers. I know of some who are company drivers. There are some drivers who will tell you, driver nga ako ng kumpanya. Wala naman akong dinadrive na sarili kong kotse. But believe me when I tell you that there are people whose titles are drivers, but they have their own car to drive. In fact, not only one. I know of a driver who has 3 vehicles, 2 cars and 1 big bike.
Wow, big bike. Wow. Big bike
And he
siya.
goes mountain climbing every weekend.
Wow.
And yet he's just a driver.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later. Part 2 yun eh. Part 2 yun eh. So,
May comment.
ang ganda ng comment ni BJ. Customs agad ang naisip niya. No? Hindi ko sasabihin, BJ. Mag-isipan mo. Kaya tama si Jenard, not just a driver. Kaya Jenard, pupunta tayo dyan mamaya ha. Just hold your horses. Ipapark ko muna. Patikim lang yun. Patikim. Okay? Talagang totoo yan. Not just. Walang just. That's the truth. So, let's move on. Now we go to the next circle. C-O-Y. Koi. Koi. Not a fish. Koi. C-O-Y. Circumstances, challenges, and choices own you. Dayan, makinig ka mamaya ha sa choices. Circumstances muna tayo. Circumstances own you. I'll give you a very quick example as I try to look at the time kasi medyo hindi pala tayo. Lumaki ako mahirap, probably I'll end up being dirt poor. Diba? Kasi ako nakapag-aral kung natapos ko ang aking pag-aaral. Diba? Circumstances own us. It becomes a lid. It becomes a barrier. It becomes a high wall that we cannot go around, get around, go over. And that's sad. Circumstances own you. Para bang hindi ka na makakilos. Wala eh. Yan na eh. Yan na yung napakasalan ko eh. Wala na. Hindi na ako makakaranas ng masayang marriage. Ito na yung circumstansya ko. Na-shotgun wedding ako eh. Na-wed lang ako. Circumstance. Kailangan ko lang tanggapin ito. Can you relate, ladies and gentlemen? Circumstances. Challenges own you. Na para bang lahat na lang dapat i-take up mo as a challenge. To the point where even if it's not your challenge, you are very much addicted to a challenge. You are all about challenges. And then you complain why your life is very hard. sometimes it's really not about the challenges per se. It's about our ability to know if a particular challenge is for us to take and for us to let go. This is really not mine to take.
May comment tayo. Ouch from John Albert.
Ouch.
Yeah. Sa pool.
Medyo mas maraming ouch to. Nasa gitna na tayo. So challenges. Na para bang you want to do something. No, I can do that. No, I can do that. Sa office, kaya mo ba to? Oo, ma'am, kaya ko yan. But what you're really doing is you're falling into a trap. You're falling into a trap. And then when you're into that trap, masisira na yung perception sa atin ng mga tao. Hindi naman pala niya kaya eh. Oo pa ng oo. Kasi naman eh, tanggap ng challenge. Because somehow people are like that. We need to prove something. Even if that is not for us to prove. Or probably, it's not yet the time for you to prove. Huwag mo munang i-take up yung challenge ng manager. You're just starting out. Learn the ropes of being a staff. Be helpful to the supervisors and managers. Don't overburden yourself with challenges that you cannot take. Work to ha, in the context of work. Yan, sometimes learn to say no if di talaga kaya. Don't consider everything a challenge directed at you. Hindi porke diner ka lang ng barkada mo, papayag ka na. Diba? I know of one person, eto, nandito siya, is in the group. Allow me to share your story. Anyway, it's an open book. Diba? Sinusulsulan siya ng barkada niya, oh, magnakaw ka sa National Bookstore. Oh, nagnakaw siya ng rotring. Nagnakaw siya, nahuli siya ng in-house security. Oh, naabala yung buhay niya for that moment. Why am I sharing that story? It was a challenge that you could have said no. Lalo na kung alam mo yung the truth about your own uniqueness. I am not a pickpocket. Ba't ko gagawin yan? May peer pressure. O sige nga, pag ginawa mo, wala ka, bakla ka. Hindi mo sinuntok yan, bakla ka. Challenge. Hindi naman talaga para sa iyo yung challenge. Tinatanggap mo. Ay nako, pag hindi mo tinanggap yung invitation ni boss, nako, hindi kanya i-consider for promotion. Kaya kung ako sa iyo, sumama ka na sa kanya sa weekend getaway niya. Diba? Maging girl Friday kanya. Or pwede ring boy Friday. Uso na rin kasi ngayon yun eh. Sige na girl, sige na boy. Kung hindi, sayang yung promotion. But really, not all challenges are for us to take. Do not let challenges own you. Do not let challenges shape your own uniqueness. And then we go to choices. Dayan, no choice eh, no? Handa ka na ba? Handa ka na? The truth is, there's no such thing as no choice. But the truth is, the other choice is not appealing to you. The truth is, the other choice is something that you fear. The truth is, the other choice is your comfort zone. So, yun lang ang sabihin ko. Do not let the syndrome of no choice own you. Because in life, there's always a choice. Ang importante, be aware of the choices that you have because actually, minsan, it's more than two choices. Eh. Two options. Probably, minsan nga, sobrang dami, ikaw na yung nalilito. Eh. You have to, limit your choices. And according to study, just limit your choices to 3 para okay ka. You are not overwhelmed, at the same time, you don't lack choices. So the magic number is 3. So let not choices own you. Wala akong choice eh. Diba? Di ako makaresign eh kasi ganito, ganyan eh. Minsan yung choice din kasi to resign is something that we fear. So when Rico mentioned that I decided to resign, that was my choice. I had a car plan. Francis Estabilio, listen again. I had a housing plan. I received quarterly bonuses, performance bonuses. I had a good life. I had a good career. It was my choice to do. Because sometimes the toughest choice should be the choice you should take. That's the truth. The toughest choice is often the choice you have to make. Question is, why aren't you making that choice? COI. Circumstances, challenges, and choices only. Are we doing good so far? Inumulin tubig, medyo okay pa ba yung bangka nyo? Hindi pa tumataob.
Guys, okay pa tayo? Ba't kayo ng Y sa chat box kung okay pa tayo?
Okay.
Yan
Ayun, dami. Okay. Yung iba, probably your learning modality is you really internalize. I'm okay with it. Just please write down on your journals what are the thoughts you're experiencing, what are the struggles that you're now, experiencing. Hindi ko matanggap tong sinasabi ni Mr. Delightful. Papatayin ko siya, sasakalin ko siya. If I get a chance to see him, ibabash ko sa FB. Damn you, Mr. Delightful. Never ever do this webinar again. Naninikip na yata dibdib.
Inom ka muna tubig.
Nikki, isang circle na lang. Okay? And then babalik na rin natin. Yung mag-dichotomize tayo, ha? So, allow me. ROI, relationships, regrets, and responsibilities own you. Relationships. Hindi ko matakasan tong relationship na to. Kahit binubugbog ka na. Kahit na inaalipusta ka na. Kahit na sirang-sira na yung pagkatao mo, sinira niya na yung pride, yung self-worth, self-esteem. Relationships only. For some reason, you see something that people really are not seeing. Because of the impact. Relationships on us. It can be with family. Anak, huwag ka muna mag-asawa. Paano naman si daddy at mami mo? Alam mo naman, tagal ka naman naming inalagaan at sinuportahan eh. Pwede bang huwag ka muna mag-asawa? Total bata ka pa. Well, age is relative, and if you consider 45 as young, probably it's not yet the time to get married. Probably we still need to listen to our parents. Or probably may asawa na siya, pero mama's boy pa siya. So whenever there needs a tough decision, a big decision needs to be made in the household, because the relationship with the mom owns the husband, wifey. Tingnan muna natin kung ano sasabihin ni mami. Kung ano sabihin ni mami, yun ang gagawin natin. Relationships own you. Merong kanta, di na makatulog, di na makakain, tagyawat sa ilong, pati na sa pisngi, sa kakaisip sa iyo, tigyawat dumadami. Buti na lang kung tigyawat ang dumadami. Paano kung pati utang mo dumadami? Kasi you want to give, you want to give, you want to give. You want a new cellphone, here's the cellphone. You want a new car, here's a car. You want new clothes, here are clothes. Dami mong pera. Yung pala, puro utang. Relationships only. Regrets own you. Nga, kung natapos ko lang pag-aaral ko, kung hindi ko sinagot ito, kung hindi kami nagpunta sa motel, sana mabubuntis. Di sana, hindi iba tong asawa ko ngayon. Di sana, pwede kong ligawan to si ano ngayon. Regrets. Sana nakanigaw sa magulang ko. Sana ito yung tinake ko na course. Sana pinaglaban ko sa parents ko. I want to finish this course. Psychology, not engineering.
Meron din kabaliktaran yan. Sana hindi ko pinakinggan yung magulang ko, hindi pala ito yung para sa akin.
Yes, Rico. Yes.
Happens.
Regrets own you. Regrets own you. Hindi ka makamove on or move forward. Both.
Forward.
We cannot move on. We can move forward because regret is just like a parachute that's open. We want to run away, but the parachute is open, thus preventing us from making headway. Some regret is just like a chain ball, nakatali sa paa, nakatali sa ankles. Gusto mo tumakbo na ng mabilis, discover a new you, your own uniqueness, your fresh uniqueness. But for some reason, regrets wear you down. Regrets. When regrets own your own uniqueness, your uniqueness is a life of regret. Question is, do you accept that in your life? That your own uniqueness is a life that is filled with regret. And then responsibilities own you. Classic example. Kung ba pinibigyan yan yung kapatid mo? Di ba may trabaho na yan? Di ba may kakayahan naman na siya mag-ipon? Bakit ba sa'yo pa rin umaasa? Kasi kapatid ko siya. Kasi nung bata pa kami, alam mo, I was always the provider for him, for her. Hindi ko mabitawan tong responsibilidad. Baka isipin kasi nila, nagmamalaki na ako. Baka isipin kasi nila, wala na akong pagmamahal. Imagine, I was doing this for ever since maliit siya. Parang hindi ko na mapigilan. Responsibilities. Own you. Uy, nag-overtime ka na naman? Isang linggo ka na nag-overtime Oo nga, besh. Kaso nung magagawa ko, nahihiya ako kay boss kasi alam mo naman siya nagpasok sa akin dito kailangan na to, attendance kasi magsuswelduhan na, kailangan na namin i-audit ito. Kasi performance, bonus sa month na. Talaga ako. Di ba birthday ng anak mo? Di ba may responsibilidad ka rin bilang magulang? Maintindihan naman ng anak ko yan. Anyway, 5 years old pa lang naman yan. Mabawi ako next year. Pero sa ngayon, hindi ko pwedeng hindian yung boss ko I have a responsibility to this company. Next. Kaya naman pala model employee ka. Responsibilities own you in the company. Bravo. And I'm not being sarcastic. I was model supervisor for corporate when I was still working for the agency. So Francis, hindi sa pagmamayabang Totoo naman. The very next year, I was the model supervisor for the entire agency. I bested all the best supervisors in other branches in our agency. For that year, I was the best. 2 consecutive years, the best in corporate and the best nationwide. But because responsibilities owned me, financially, relational, as a family man, grabe, training is so good to me. Libre travel, libre pagkain, namimit ko yung mga manager, maraming elbows ako sa lahat ng bossing, grabe. I cannot say no to my work. Pero ba't ganon? Na-miss mo yung paglabas ng anak mo. Hindi ka nakauwi because of your work. Pinanganak ng lahat, wala ka sa tabi ng asawa mo at ng anak mo. Responsibilities own you. When responsibilities own you, those things may happen if it is not yet happening in our lives. Tumahimik na naman kayo. Okay pa ba yung bangka nyo? Tumaob na.
Okay pa ba tayo?
Parang wala na nagko-comment. Basta nagjo-journal kayo.
Yeah. I believe they're journaling.
Journal it. Whatever thoughts that are coming in your mind, the feelings that you're struggling with, or accepting the emotions that you're having, write it down.
Yeah.
Relationship, regrets, and responsibilities only. That is the first part. Now, allow me to quickly share the offhand, the dichotomy. Okay, so before that, truth and dare. Write on your journal, what owns you? What owns you? From the 9,
Ganda.
is it 9? Is it 8? Is it 1? What owns you? What owns your own uniqueness? You can just imagine if I always held on to the fact that model supervisor ako eh. Model corporate employee ako, supervisory level eh. Wala na po ako dun sa agency. So, di ba, napaka-weird, no? Yung binibida ko sa inyo, eh, wala na ako dun. Pero it still owns me, di ba? Example lang yan. That's just an example. So, write in your journals, in your notebooks, what owns you? Okay? Now we get to the other half. The dichotomy. Ito na. Bigyan namin kayo ng pag-asa and then we land the plane. The YOU principles, decisions, and directions. What am I talking about? Let's go back to the framework. Now we reverse. From TOY, YOT. Your own uniqueness should own your thoughts, your titles, and your treasures. That is what will make us more unique. When we have control, when we manage our own thoughts. Ang sarap patulan nito ni Rico eh. Talagang gusto ko siraan to eh. Napakahusay na bata nito eh. Mauunahan ako mag-promote nito eh. Diba? Siraan ko kaya to sa boss ko. Yun yung kanina. But let me illustrate if I own my thoughts. It's probably a bad thing to do. Number 1, magaling naman talaga si Rico eh. Number 2, mahusay talaga siya eh. At number 3, mas handsome pa siya sa akin eh. Oo eh. Kaya, you know, as I own my thoughts, I have that realistic realizations. Probably, Rico has an equal chance of being promoted just like me. And if ever he wins it, despite the fact that he's younger than me, I need to own my thoughts. What do I need to do to get better the next time? What do I need to do to be promoted? Or would another promotion from another department be in the works for me? That is owning your thoughts. You process your thoughts the way you want thoughts to affect you and not the other way around. Because if you own your thoughts, you respond, you do not react. When you own your thoughts, you respond, you do not react. Sounds good? If you own your titles, and this is just very quick, bakit nga ba tayo nagiging manager? Bakit nga ba tayo binibigyan ng mas mataas na posisyon sa kumpanya, mas mataas na posisyon sa komunidad? Because if you own your title, this is the basic truth about owning your title. You use your title to serve as many people as you can. If you're a manager, use your title to serve as many people as you can, not the other way around. Pagtimpla mo ako ng kape, photocopy mo to, gawan mo ng report to, ayusin mo internet ko, pumunta ka sa bahay, deliver mo yung sako ng bigas sa kapitbahay ko. If you own your title, you will use it to make other people better. You will use it to train, to coach, to mentor other people so that they will have an equal chance at a better life. That is one. Only one yan. Maraming manifestations yan. But I'm just sharing you one of the things where you will know that you own your title. Ito pa pangalawa. You don't bring your title with you. Paglabas mo ng kumpanya, nandun din yung title mo. So now you accept that when you go out, even the basurero, even the taong grasa can shame you. And you're not gonna feel bad because the title doesn't own you. We are all just ordinary people at the end of the day, and God sees us all equally. The titles are a mark of stewardship. It is not a mark of entitlement. When you use a title to be entitled, you're going to the wrong direction. When you use a title for stewardship, you are putting yourself in a good direction. And then your treasure owns you. Again, stewardship. Bakit kaya tayo pinapayaman? Bakit kaya tayo binibigyan ng maraming opportunities? To the point where kahit yung kapitbahay ko, they cannot keep up. I'm just blessed. Hashtag blessed. Why? What is the concept of us or you owning treasure? Give it away. Give it away. If you have enough, if you are in a state of overflow, give it away. Two hands. Receive, give. Receive, give. Receive, give. That is how your own uniqueness shines through if you have treasures in life. It can be money, it can be talent, because talent can also be a treasure, it can be abilities, but as long as you use it as a good steward, use it sa tama, use it sa may kabuluhan, and share it with other people, you own treasure, not the other way around. Sounds good? Next. Koi, you own circumstances, you own challenges, you own your choices. Again, now it sounds familiar na. It all makes sense now. Okay, so if you own your circumstances, you can defeat that circumstance by saying, I will be challenged. I challenge myself to overcome that circumstance. So tatahiin ko na kasi this is another way of attacking this dichotomy. I'll make a choice to own this challenge for myself so that I can overcome a circumstance in my life. Does it make sense? Yan, binigyan ko kayo ng ibang dimension na kasi pwedeng separately, you treat them, you go through them separately, or you go through them relationally. Kasi pwede siya. So kung ang circumstansya mo, walang trabaho, challenge yourself. Makakahanap ako. Paano? Make a choice. Probably, I need to try this. Probably, I need to try this. Probably, I need to, I need to find out for myself if I'm qualified for this. Own it. Because you have the choice to own it. Okay? COY. And then, last one, ROY. Baliktarin natin, you own relationships, you own your regrets, and you own your responsibilities. Your own uniqueness is predicated on choosing relationship that makes you grow, that makes you a better person. You deserve to be in a relationship where your own uniqueness is important to the other party, or to the other person, or to your parents, or to your friends, or to your siblings, or to your community. Your own uniqueness in the context of regrets is you live a life away, going away from the regrets, not embracing the regrets. It's really doing a 180-degree turn and telling the regrets, you stop there. You don't have the power to chase me anymore. I am over this regret. I am moving on and I am moving forward because I cannot be unique if I live a life that is full of regret. And then responsibilities. You own responsibilities. Be mindful that responsibilities can be chosen as well. If you feel that it is not your responsibility because you don't have the ability, you don't have the time, you don't have the energy, you don't have the passion, you don't have, or it's not really for you, make that choice and tell that other person or tell your boss, tell the company, I will not be responsible for that. That is not for me to take on because I know my strengths and I know my limitations. So, baliktad na siya. YOR. So, journaling time. If it makes sense, write something that you're thinking, that you're feeling, that you're struggling with. It doesn't matter. Just write it down so that finally, I'll show you a very key principle to wrap everything up. And this is discovering the truth about the joy inside of you. The joy inside of you. Wow. Your own uniqueness connects now to an internal state of joy that despite the challenge of thoughts owning you, treasure owning you, all of those things, responsibility owning you, lahat yan may temptation, lahat yan may challenges, lahat yan. Parang unwanted visitor. Pasok ako sa buhay mo, papasok ako sa buhay mo. But if you have the joy inside of you, you can always make the choice to own all of these things. Nope. Sorry, can't do that for you. Sorry, I'm not gonna be a victim of circumstances. Sorry, you are not going to victimize me with your abusive relationship because I have found joy in me and not in my circumstances. They can help. Okay, but what if your circumstance change? Saan ka pupunta? Inside. Joy. Yan, the joy. Yan yung mga napagkakamalang baliw. Yan yung mga unique na baliw. Just because kahit na may matinding pagsubok, you can still find them to be peaceful, to be, managing their emotions, to still be logical about things. They do not flare up, they do not fire up, they do not, they are not under a spirit of rage. Talagang, okay lang. Because joy is now predicated on the truths that you hold on inside. Those undeniable, unbreakable, unquestionable truths about your identity, about your mission, about your purpose, about your vision, about your value, about our values. Lahat yan, lumped inside, put together, mixed together, and the end result is joy. 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 J-O-Y. Actually, if I may personally share, ako may personal definition ako ng joy. Okay, J-O-Y. Akin lang to, I'm just sharing you my opinion. In my life, despite the many struggles that I've had, I really find this concept of joy really helpful. Because for me, joy is also Jesus owns me. Jesus owns you. Okay? My uniqueness is connected to Jesus. Kaya ka pala masaya? You have Jesus in you. Well, ako lang yon. I'm not going to force religion on anyone, lalo na kung magkakaiba tayo. This is just my personal sharing. Okay? That's how I connect everything in my life. So very important sa akin talaga is to preserve the joy that I have inside. The belief that no matter the hardships that I'm going through right now, there's joy in me. Okay? It's not for sale. I don't have to buy it from anyone or from anything, from any store. It's something that I can develop inside. How? By being unique, by owning all of those things that I mentioned to all of you. So, truth and dare time, what is your own unique decision and direction? Ayan na, tapos na tayo. Just a few slides and that's it. What is your decision and direction when it comes to charting your path to discover your own uniqueness? Yan. So medyo talagang I don't know kung bakit tahimik sila sa chat box, dahil ba nakatulog na, dahil ba medyo nag-i-internalize talaga sila o nagjo-journaling sila. I'm okay with it, pero write something on this truth and dare. What is your own unique decision and direction? Or again, if we are using your own uniqueness, okay, what decisions and directions are you going to take as you start a new journey in discovering your own uniqueness? All right. So, sige. Sulat-sulat kayo, pag-isipan nyo, but allow me to proceed kasi, time is of the essence. So the last part is a new beginning, steps, and sessions. Ano bang laman nito? Simple lang. Dahil patapos na po tayo, okay, kindly type on the chat box. Okay? So, wag nyo munang ise-send hanggat hindi nyo na kumpleto to. These are just simple questions, 8 questions. 5 actually are yes and no lang. So, ang gagawin lang natin, 1, why, 2, why, or n. And then, for items number 5, 6, and 8, yun lang yung medyo magki-keyboard warrior tayo. We just need to type something. Okay? So, I'm going to close my eyes, okay, so that I don't have to know your answers yet. Okay? Or maybe I will close my chat box para talagang fair. I will close it. Si Rico na lang ang makakakita niyan at kayo. So just take a few minutes to answer our next steps guide. Okay? So I'm gonna close my group chat box. Yeah. I want to be excited. Yeah. So Rico, ikaw nang mag-guide sa akin na if you're seeing yeses or or no's. Nakakakaba, Rico, kasi, di ba?
Hindi mo na ako kibo. Ngingiti lang ako dito para
Sige.
kabahan.
Pindatan mo na lang ako pag medyo good news. While I wipe my face. No? Medyo alam nyo, in our desire to really be delightful, okay lang pagpawisan kami. Kahit na medyo ang init. Pero para sa inyo, we will continue to be delightful for you. And you know, I want to be delightful for all of you. Choice ko yun eh. Okay, ang dami na. So please take time to really answer our 8 questions. Simple lang naman po. 5 naman is yes or no. And then you just need to make a small effort in answering questions 5, 6, and 8. And that will really tell us a lot about our direction also, our decision, kasi we're talking about direction and decision, our steps and sessions for a new beginning para malaman din namin ni Rico if this is something that's really valuable for other people as well. So if you found this session to be valuable, please let us know by answering the next steps guide questions. Okay. So, habang yung iba nagta-type, if you're finished, if somebody is finished, pwede rin kayo mag-turn on the mic for a while and then I want to engage with you. Just tell me your thoughts. And then Rico will just tell me if okay na, napuno na.
Yeah.
So, anybody wants to engage? Anybody who has a question?
Guys, also, if you can't unmute, please let me know so I will be the one to unmute.
Yeah. So, I would be happy to accept anything, a question, a comment, anything, just so I know that you're receiving much value from our session.
By the way, sino yung Oppo A5s po? If you use your name, para kilala namin kayo. Oo.
So we'll land the plane because it's dinner time for most of us. I know I'm also hungry, but just allow us to finish the remaining slides. You've been really very wonderful with your time. So we really do appreciate the fact that you're still there. I see that we are still 40. We're still going strong, no? Talagang hindi siya bumaba. Okay? From the time we began, nag-taper off na.
Sir Kerry. Wait, I think you can't unmute, no? Let me unmute you.
Okay, Kerry.
Where is his name? Yeah.
Okay, Kerry online 565. What's up?
Yan, I asked to unmute.
Oo. So, pakinggan natin si Kerry.
Sir Kerry, you may use the audio kahit wala ng video so you can preserve the
bandwidth.
Yeah.
medyo struggle si Kerry, no?
Oo, nag-struggle.
Pero so far, Rico, nasagutan naman most yung 8 questions natin. So, thank you.
Merong nasa number 6 pa lang, so let's just...
Sure. Just continue typing on the chat box and answering. I'm very sure that we will be able to gather all of your responses soon. But just allow me to, to just slowly land our plane. Syempre in the interest of time, and of course I know that yung investment nyo is really so much, the time that you are spending with me, Enrico. So allow me to just move on by showing you another truth and dare question. So you can also include that in your chat box. So would you be interested to pursue the journey to rediscover you? Because really, ladies and gentlemen, so far what we have just shared with you is the framework. Okay? We talked about how life unfolds for all of us in terms of the process, the patterns, the circles and cycles, the decisions that we make, the realizations that we have to face, the direction that we need to choose, all in the name of discovering the truth about our own uniqueness, the truth about your own uniqueness. So at this point, if you may just quickly share with us by typing on the chat box, who among you would be interested to pursue the journey to rediscover you? It's a very important question for me, Enrico, because as I show you the next slide, here is our plan in terms of the next steps. Okay, we plan to have forthcoming sessions. So if you are finished with the evaluation and you are finished answering the truth and dare, what Rico and I are planning to do is to share with you 4 more sessions, okay, that will complement and support and give you more, okay, knowledge on how to go about this journey that we are embarking. So what are these 2 webinars? So we plan to have webinar number 2, which will focus on the process, or a workshop on identifying the values that define your own uniqueness. Kasi kanina may nag-comment sa chat box, importante yung values. And I agree with that. But yun nga, because we don't have enough time to compress the topic of values to this session, Rico and I decided to do a full webinar for values. So may workshop kami, we will have a framework again, and we will have a process where you can really identify the values that are yours. Hindi mo hiniram, hindi sa'yo pinasa, hindi sa'yo ipinilit. And the end result of webinar 2 is you will be able to have your own values manifesto or values constitution. Okay, so that is webinar 2. We also plan to have webinar 3. This is also a 2-session webinar. Ang tema naman nito, ang topic naman nito is creating a time and life management system that guides you. Kasi now, this is really something that's important. How do I manage my time? Not only your time, but your life. Minsan nakala natin, pag na-manage natin yung time, yung buhay, sadya na lang bubuti at gaganda. Let me tell you something. Doesn't mean that you can manage time. It means that you're managing your life well. Yung iba, magaling mag-manage ng time, pero puro naman sa work. So paano na yung life? Paano na yung other aspects of life? So that is what we intend to share with you, a time and life management system that can allow you to say yes to the things that you need to say yes to, and how to say no to the things that you need to say no to. And that is by creating your own time and life management system. So that is the content of our forthcoming webinars, webinars 2 and 3. So thumbs up or comment on the chat box. Are you interested to attend and to continue your journey by being a part of these next webinars? O, sige, nakasarado yung chat box ko. So, just surprise me. Okay? So, tingnan natin kung sino yung interested. So, that's what we commit to provide you, okay, as far as our webinars are concerned. So, yan.
Yan.
Okay? So, moving on, So
Bubooking
if
ba
your
tayo?
answer is yes, of course, you will receive an email because everybody registered. You will receive an email containing details and instructions on how to enroll. But let me be honest with you. You know, we put so much effort, we put so much time in preparing this webinar and also the succeeding webinars. I'd like to be upfront by saying that the next two webinars will come at a cost. Okay, so there's no hiding from it. Okay, in as much as you know, I'm Mr. Delightful. I'm also a delightful trainer. I'm also a delightful business owner. So I really do hope that my honesty doesn't come across as you know something that is off. But really, all of the trainers would probably understand. Okay, why this is the current business model or set up for trainers. But then again, I believe so much in the next two webinars that I really have to be honest when I say that this will come at a cost, but it is going to be a fair cost for everyone. So that's as honest as I can get. Siyempre, we believe in the value of our webinars under RIP Success. Of course, also, just to also honor the efforts of Rico. So, yun ang gusto namin talagang sabihin sa inyo. But then again, if that is not an object or a hindrance for you, then I'm very sure magkikita-kita tayo. I think even now, mas natutuwa kami because you have invested in time more than anything else. Okay, so yun lang yung the thing that I want to say about that. But again, it's your decision. It's not mine to enforce. Okay? But eto, there's more. Okay, so ilan tayo?
We are
40?
39 right now, pero kanina
Okay.
40 tayo.
O, sige. O, but listen up. 10 of you will receive a special message about the webinar soon. So, ayan na, naka-ready na si Rico. Mamaya pag-uusapan namin yan pag kayo nagsilabasan na. Kami ang matitira ni Rico. So, 10 of you will receive a special message about the webinars. So, para ma-excite kayo, these 10 people, okay, will have a very special chance of going through the entire webinar, okay, at no cost, at no financial cost. Walang i-shell out na money from the pocket.
Cross fingers.
Sino kaya yung 10? Comment na kayo kung sino yung mauunang mag-comment na pogi si Rico. Yun ang ililibre ni Rico. Kung sino may pinakamagandang papuri kay Rico. Di bali na ako, sapat na yung papuri ng asawa ko sa akin. I'm more than overwhelmed already. Kay Rico na lang kasi single yata si Rico.
So yung single status pero taken po. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so 10 of you, I don't know kung sino, di ba? Kasi we want to make it as fair as possible. 10 of you will receive a special message about the webinars for a chance to go through the entire webinars at no cost. Yeah, no fee.
So,
okay.
So, guys, meron akong generator dyan. Ayan po ang gagawin namin.
Oo, yan ang gagamitin niya mamaya. So, based on the number of registrants, okay, na nag-enroll, siyempre tatanggalin na ni Rico yung mga nag-register pero hindi nag-show up. Kaya you have now a better chance of winning. Kasi kung sino lang yung nag-attend, yun dun lang namin pipiliin. Okay, so that's where we will choose the 10 blessed participants. So, sounds good ba? Thumbs up nga kayo kung excited kayo. Okay, kung sa tingin nyo kayo yun. Oh, nag-thumbs up si Dayan. Okay, good. So, as we land the plane, I just want to say that our life journey really is a continuous process. Okay, it evolves. Okay, patterns change, our values change also. Marami, even our philosophies. Those are the things that we will discover in our next webinars. But for now, I just want to live in the moment by saying we are really grateful for all of you because you have invested your time with us. I know this is, time is really an important resource, but the mere fact that you've stayed on with us, it means a lot to us. Ibig sabihin, we were able to give something of value. So as we try to end, okay, our webinar, okay, I want to share with you something that is really personal for me as Mr. Delightful, as somebody who believes, in God and in Jesus Christ. I want to share with you a verse, Okay, from Psalm 139 verses 13 to 16, and it says, "You formed my inward parts, you knitted me together in my mother's womb. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. My frame was not hidden from you when I was intricately woven. In your book was written the days formed for me, when as yet there was none." Guys, the truth about me, I want to share that it might be the truth about you, that your own uniqueness is found in these verses, that you have been fearfully and wonderfully made, that there is a purpose that was intended for you to fulfill and to achieve. And there is a great commission that all of us needs to fulfill before we enjoy our eternal time with God. So with that, siguro, just a few minutes for those of you who want to stay on and just, share your thoughts and comments, we will allow you to do so. But if you still need to do some things, you need to take